Welcome back to Cloudbase Scents, a fresher take on fragrances. I'm your host, Joey. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch one of my fragrance reviews. I greatly appreciate having you along on my fragrance journey, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can follow me on all my future endeavors. With that being said, let's get straight into what we came here for. It's by the house of Issey Miyake. This is a limited edition release for 2020. This is the pour homme version, but there's also a ladies version that was released as well. Without any further ado, this is Shades of Kolam Pour Homme. So Shades of Kolam Pour Homme is a fragrance that came out this year in time for summer, but as far as I can tell, this is a limited edition release. It's not currently available in the US markets, but maybe that will change in the future. But at the time of this video, the only place that I could find this was in Spain, and now they don't even carry it anymore. So it is a very, in my opinion, hard to find fragrance, but I think it was worth the wait that it took. It took about 3 weeks to get it back to the US, which is a long time, but I was happy to have it in. Now, I don't often blind buy fragrances, and I know I preach against it all the time like I have in previous videos, but with this particular fragrance, I wanted to blind buy it because I wanted to get it while I could, and two, based on the note breakdown, I thought I'd really like it, especially because it's very cardamom heavy, and because in the base it has cashmere as well as the cedar. And I really like the green tea aspect, the way that it was described, and all those things combined I knew would work well off my skin, and I wasn't disappointed when I got it. It does work very well. Now, with that being said, this is not for everybody. This is not a mass appealing Issey Miyake. This is not something that you're going to wear that everyone around you is going to immediately like. This is more of an artistic piece which matches the bottle. As you can see, it's got a very cool design to it, which I like a lot because this actually matches the theme of the rest of my house as well. So it looks good when I put it out there. I like the design of the bottle. I like the fact that it's a very artistic fragrance. It doesn't smell like anything else I have in my collection by any shape, form, or fashion. It stands on its own. But I think for the average person that likes Issey Miyake, or someone that may be expecting this to be like a mass appealing crowd pleaser or whatever else like that, I think you may be disappointed in the amount of money that you have to spend and the length of time that you have to wait to get it in. So would I recommend it to anyone else? I don't know. I can't say for sure whether this is going to work for you or not. I paid about $60 US for this, and then I waited a pretty extensive time for this to come in. I also paid a decent chunk of change for shipping as well, and I feel like it was worth it in the end. But would I buy a second bottle of this? Probably not. Actually, I wouldn't buy a second bottle of this. It's nice to have for what it is, and I'm going to get good wearing out of this. But when this is done, I'm probably not going to buy a second bottle. It's not one of those types of fragrances that you smell and you're like, wow, this is a game changer. This is going to change everything about perfumery. And just the fact that it is so difficult to find doesn't make it smell any better. It just means that it's more difficult to find. But I don't think that this is a fragrance that you're going to smell and you're going to be blown away by. In fact, if any Issey Miyake ever did that to me, it's Pulse of the Night. This one doesn't come close to that as far as the wow factor is concerned. It's just unique on its own. Let's just put it that way. So in the top of this fragrance, you get cardamom, you get pomelo, and you get bergamot, right? So pomelo is going to be more of like a less dirty version of grapefruit. So you're going to get that grapefruit blast like you get in so many other perfumes and fragrances, but it's not going to be so gritty. It's not going to be so abrasive. It's going to be much more rounded, much more smoothed out, and it provides more of a relaxing vibe. It works well with the cardamom. This is a very cardamom-based fragrance. You can pick that up immediately when you spray it all the way through the dry down. It's very consistent. Now, this is kind of a linear fragrance. This is not going to develop into something super sophisticated. It's not going to be for the fragrance aficionado that wants an art piece and stuff like that necessarily. It's not going to have a huge amount of development. It pretty much just does what it does all the way through. But if you like cardamom, this fragrance is going to be right up your alley, and I love cardamom, so here we are. So in the mid, you have coriander seed and you have green tea, and I pick up the green tea a lot in this. And for someone who likes tea in their fragrances, this also worked out great for me. And this is supposed to evoke the smell of drinking cardamom tea in the middle of the market in Chennai is what the website says. And I definitely can understand where that's coming from. I think they did a good job in translating the smells of like an Indian spice market. And I think the point of this fragrance was translated well into the scent profile. You definitely get the green tea. It brings out the coriander seed, just like it says on the website. It absolutely does. I don't have a problem with coriander. I know a lot of people do, or some people do, but I don't have a problem with it at all. And I think it works really good with the top notes. And it's a very nice transition into the base. So in the base of this fragrance, you have cashmere and cedar. And I definitely think that the cedar is there, but the cashmere takes the foreground in the base of this fragrance. So all the way through the rest of the life of this fragrance, you definitely pick up the cashmere. It's a very soothing, loungy, luxurious kind of vibe that it gives off, and it still works well with the top notes and to give it kind of like this spicy, relaxed kind of feeling, if that makes any sense. This fragrance to me has a lot of good things going for it, and I know that I've only seen one other review on YouTube about this so far, and it kind of got a meh review. I can understand where that's coming from. This is not something that I think you're going to smell and be like, wow, this is like the best Issey Miyake yet, but I think it does a really good job of putting you in the type of atmosphere that's advertised on the box and through the artwork. I definitely, for me, I love the smell of like an Indian market. I've been to an Indian market before. I know what it smells like. I like the smell of cardamom tea, and I think that definitely captures it well in this fragrance too. So as a lover of cardamom and cashmere and cedar fragrances and green tea, it hits all the right notes for me, and it was worth the purchase in my particular opinion. For those of you out there who are looking for a projection monster or like a beast mode fragrance, this is definitely not it. This is not something that's going to climb off your skin and just like project 6 feet out. This is something that's very, I would say would sit within like a 2 or 3 foot bubble around you, which is not terrible. For at least 2 or 3 hours. You will get like at least this far distance from you. And people around you will smell it, but it's not going to be something that's going to cloy people out. You're not going to just be like very obnoxious when you wear this. It does feel very relaxing, and you're going to smell like you're wearing something very relaxing. People will still compliment that, you know, if your personality is good and everything like that, you'll still get compliments with this. But this is not one of those compliment getter like mall fragrances. This is like, just think in a different direction than that. As far as the versatility on this fragrance, when you can wear this, there's really no limit to when you can wear this. I wouldn't personally wear this to the nightclub because this doesn't make me think nightclub. This makes me think during the daytime when it's sunny outside and I'm outside all the time. That's when I would personally wear this, but you can wear this anywhere and get away with it. I mean, you could wear this to work. I don't see that being a problem. You can wear it out casually, and it'll stay with you for at least 5 or 6 hours. It's not going to be one of those 8-10 hour fragrances, but 5 or 6 hours is pretty good, especially if you take the bottle with you or make a little decant, take it with you and spray yourself, keep refreshing. It'll last a good period of time. So I think that it's good enough to say that it's at least average. My overall assessment of this fragrance, I think that the cost that I paid for it was, around $63 US. Was it worth it? Yeah, I mean, I think, in my opinion, yeah, it was worth it. But again, I wouldn't purchase this a second time, and I don't think a lot of people out there who like Issey Miyake that would be thinking that this is going to be like the rest of their line are going to be happy when they buy it and find out that it takes a totally different direction. But for those of you out there who like the notes that I listed, I think it's going to work really well for you. And I look forward to actually buying the ladies version as well when I can get my hands on it, because I want to try that too. And I wanted to bring this fragrance to you because I know not a lot of people either have this or they're not talking about it. And I think it's one of those fragrances that's going to disappear into the background of Issey Miyake's collection in the future, and I don't want it to. I want you to know about it. So with that being said, I'm your host Joey, and this is my review of Shades of Kolam.